Okay, folks, it's early November, and you know what? That means two things around here. Not only does it mean elections, it also means it's time for Syracuse basketball. It's that time of year again, folks. Everybody's ready to see what Coach Boeheim and the Orange can do. This year's a lot of question marks, especially coming from a team that last year barely made the NCAA field, but then lost to Baylor in the first round. And there is a lot of question marks this year. Several of the players that helped last year have gone on to do other things. Tyus Battle and O'Shea Brissett were the leaders. Pascal Chukwu was the leader in the middle. And also, Frank Howard exhausted his eligibility while being a good role player. And now, this team, that a lot of people are saying may be a fringe NCAA team, probably an NIT team, has a lot of question marks and a lot of things. So let's take a quick look at them. And I scribbled down a few notes, so bear with me. First, the leader of the team is expected to be East Carolina transfer Elijah Hughes. He's expected to step into the role that Tyus Battle had. And you know what? This East Carolina transfer could be the one to help lead us on. Going on, Marek Dolezaj, who's been a good role player for the last 2 years, coming from Slovakia, where he didn't have a lot of kielbasa. But the thing is, Dolezaj is expected to take a bigger role. Also this year, Barama Sidibe, he's the one that is expected to step in with Chukwu, but the thing is, he may not. It pretty much might be him going against the two incoming freshmen, which I talk about later. Next, the coach's son, Buddy Boeheim, who is the preferred walk-on. He's not on scholarship. He's the preferred walk-on. You know, I'm a preferred walk-on, especially when I walk onto the floor. You know, hey, he's the preferred walk-on. Hey, we gotta get him in here. Oh well, Buddy Boeheim has a good touch going from the outside. He improved all last year. Let's hope he can be lights out from beyond the arc, which has moved out a little bit, if you notice what I mean. And also, Robert Braswell. He definitely has improved his game over the offseason. He's bulked up. His touch has become better. He may be one of those under-the-radar recruits that Boeheim is known for so well. Braswell, can he step into a leadership role? And also, last year's preferred recruit, Jalen Carey. Carey was much ballyhooed when he came to the Hill last year, but he had a little trouble adjusting and he had a little trouble turning the ball over. Plus, he was injured for part of the year. Carey, can he step into the role that was expected of him? We'll see. And the big question mark this year is Howard Washington. Last year, he had recovered from a pretty bad ACL injury, played 3 games, but then had one of the scariest things of all happen to him. And it shouldn't happen to a young kid. He suffered a stroke. But it was a long recovery and a long road back. Can Washington regain to the height that was thought of him when he signed with the Hughes? Washington is a big question mark. We'll see. And quickly we'll look at the 5 incoming freshmen. Yes, 5 of them. One of them already garnering thoughts of him being one and done is Quebec native Quincy Girard. He's expected to really step into the role that O'Shea Brissett had. Almost could be like the touch with Tyus Battle. We'll see what Girard can do. Bryson Gooding, another great recruit. Can he step in and be a good role player? And also, we look at one kid who is an enigma, but looks like he could be the best shooter to come to the Cuse in a long, long time. From Glens Falls, the all-time leading scorer in New York State history, Girard the Third. From what I've seen, he's got a natural touch when shooting from beyond the arc. Could he be the answer? Could he be the best thing to come to the outside shooting since Routens and Cooney and the two big men who signed? We've got Jesse Edwards from the Netherlands and John Bolajak from the Sudan. They're expected to step in where Chukwu was. This is an international team. Several of the recruits do come from outside the 48 contiguous states. Heck, Sidibe comes from Mali, Edwards comes from the Netherlands, Bolajak from the Sudan, and also Dolajai from Slovakia and Guerriere from Quebec. Truly an international team. Do you think maybe we could have the United Nations representing us? We'll see. A lot of question marks, but let's hope for a great season which tips off tomorrow night against the defending national champions. It's Virginia who we play first, a Virginia team that is reloading. Could we maybe catch them at a weak point? But I'm going to quickly talk about the other Syracuse team, the abomination that has become the football team. Almost 500 yards of offense in the first half. Who's teaching the defense? Oh yes, the guy who was fired, Brian Ward. You know what? Good riddance, you son of a bitch. What are you teaching those guys on the defensive line or the defense? All right, people, when we come out, line up backwards. Let them run right over you and we'll raise the flag. We'll get pity around here. Yeah, you'll get pity. The stuff that's going to come out of my mouth after I eat cherries and spit them at you. That's what's going to happen. Good riddance, you knothead. What are you teaching them? To play defense for dummies? That's what I want to say. Good riddance. Come on, we got a good week off. Thank you. But to the Bills, good job. But you're doing it ugly, guys. A good win against Washington. But I mean, still some concern. You gotta play 60 minutes of football, not take a quarter off. And I'm also gonna quickly talk about Election Day here. Yes, I got some more notes here. Some pretty good races. The big one is especially for district attorney. You know who I'm going to say to vote for district attorney? You vote for Chris. You know why? He's for the folk. Not only for that, he's for the people too. You elect others, you're going to sinkowitz or swim, or you're going to elect somebody who lives near Syracuse, yet claims to be here. Yeah, electing him could be a nabinger of things to come. Enough with the puns. Of course, the other contested races, I'm going to say for county supervisor, put your vote in Mr. Cronenwetter, but for the others, I'm going to say Ralph Lott. For town supervisor, toss-up between Avery and Ferrara. For town clerk, you can re-elect Nicoletta Greer, who's been in there since the Stone Age, or maybe Teresa Bradley. It's up to you. For town council, you got a bevy of contestants. You can elect the one who's from the Jetsons, or when you say her last name, Gilroy? Oh, I better sign off. Old you-know-who is barking. Or you can elect Mr. Churchill, Miss Dyson, or Mr. Larson. For superintendent of highways, you got one there who's got over 30 years of experience. You elect a squarehead for the supervisor, for the highway superintendent, if you get my drift. But last but not least, I want to give a shout out to the uncontested race, because Sheriff Luce is running uncontested, but I do want to give a shout out to an employee who had just retired after nearly 30 years of great service with the Sheriff's Department. Mike Reinhardt, who was a great deputy, great sergeant, great overall person, retired after a great long career with the Sheriff's Department, and also kudos to his partner, Aiken, who was one classy dog and one great member of the Sheriff's Department. Great retirement to both. And to Aiken, you can have all the milk bones and all the USDA prime you can have. But just don't growl at me again. Heck, you probably looked at me several times and barked and said, "Ooh, lunch." That's my show for this week. Get out and vote. And let's have a great season, Syracuse basketball.